Yo, it's another episode of Drinks with Jinx, the podcast where we chill, conversate, and drink. I got a legend sitting next to me today. I got an awesome filmmaker, somebody that I admire, that I look up to, somebody that helps motivate me, you know, and that is the one and only Tariq Nasheed.
My brother.
What's up, brother? How you doing today?
Jinx, man. My pleasure to be here.
Yeah, man, you pulled up, man.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I'm saying? You kept your word.
Oh, yeah, always.
You know what I'm saying?
Always.
And, yeah, man, so again, man, I just got to break the ice real quick.
Yeah.
I remember we met back in 2012, I want to say, during the Hidden Colors Part 2 movie release.
And Beverly Hills with Beverly Hills. Wilshire.
Yeah. Yes. And, you know, I'm watching the movie, and I had never known about you prior to this. So, you know, I'm watching the movie, whatever. I'm really deep into it. It's popping. You know what I'm saying? It's popping like some chicken in the skillet. So, anyway, when the credits was rolling and everything, come to find out, you were sitting in the back the whole time. I'm like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? And then we chopped it up for about 20 minutes outside, took a couple pictures, followed each other on Twitter, and just admire, man, what you do. I'm a fan of you, man. You know? So yeah, I love what you're doing, man.
I appreciate it. And guys, this is Sprite I'm drinking.
Yeah.
Because my brother's getting it in with the blue drink.
Oh, yeah.
You know, y'all know I don't drink.
Right.
But I'm on Drinks with Jinx. Yeah. And this is the Sprite. So I don't want people to be like, oh, that nigga, he's up here drinking liquor.
Right. Well, I told people also, right, like about a year ago, I said when somebody comes on Drinks with Jinx, right, they don't necessarily have to have alcohol.
Yeah.
Nigga, we could be sipping some Starbucks coffee. We could be having some hot chocolate. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Eating s'mores with it. Whatever we doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about great conversation and just having a beverage, whatever that is of your choice.
Yes,
we could be drinking some Arrowhead water.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But the point is to sit down, vibe out, and have great conversation.
Absolutely.
See, I don't interview people. This isn't an interview. We're just having a dope conversation.
Yes, indeed.
That's how I get down.
Yeah, we were chopping it up off camera. We had to get the thing rolling because we were talking about so many heavy topics. So
right.
That's what it is.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. Where were you born originally?
I was born in Detroit.
Oh.
As a child, they sent me down to Alabama because, you know, Detroit in the 70s, that was right after the Black Power movement. So Detroit was kind of radical during the 70s. You know, there's a lot of drugs going on, a lot of white flight. A lot of the resources were being drained out of inner cities around the country. So they were like, well, you know, we might have to send you back down south where we came from. Right. My family came from Alabama. So they sent me down there, and I grew up in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
So part of your family's from the South too, right?
Yes.
Your dad or your mom?
Well, I have a lot of family from Virginia.
Okay, right.
And Miami.
Okay.
Right. And I still have some family that's in Cuba as well. Right now. So, yeah.
And that's now... being black and Cuban. Now I got to interview my brother now.
Okay, come on, bring it on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. 2 for 1,
yes,
they getting right now.
Yes, indeed. So black. How close are you to the Cuban side of your family?
I would say somewhat close. You know, like my mom is, of course, the one part Cuban.
Right.
Cherokee Indian. My dad is the one Panamanian with, I believe, Cherokee Indian as well. Okay. But African American too as well. Right. Of course, right? But
now have you been to visit some of the family members in Cuba or Panama?
I've been to Cuba once.
Okay.
I've never been to Panama.
How was Cuba?
Beautiful. Went to Santiago de Cuba. Okay. We call it. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful.
I've heard. I've always wanted to go. I've heard it's beautiful.
Beautiful, man. Women, beautiful. The food, yes, amazing. The portions you get of food, the sightseeing, just everything. The whole culture of it is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome, you know, to know my, you know, African American roots, but also, you know, some of the Latin, the Cuban and the Pan. It's just awesome, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing, man.
Well, it's interesting. LA has a lot of people who have who are black, but they have Panamanian backgrounds. They have Cuban. They have Belizean. LA's
a lot of Belizeans in LA.
Yes, it is. I tell people that all the time.
Man.
LA is full of Belizeans. You have more Belizeans here in LA outside of Belize. This is the number one place.
Right, 100%.
Yeah.
I agree.
Very interesting dynamic.
Very, very. Now, Now, do you have any family from different countries? Or
No.
Have
Man,
you ever done your ancestry before?
I have, yeah. All my family, they're foundational Black Americans, man. They're all descended from slaves in America, everybody in the family.
Okay.
And, L.A., a lot of people migrated here. Most of the people that's here now who are Black came after World War II for the jobs, things like that. And they were living mainly around the Central Avenue area. That was the Black hub of Los Angeles. There were a lot of thriving Black businesses on Central Avenue, just like there were in all types of different cities around the country. Every city around the country during the Jim Crow era, they had thriving Black areas like a Black Wall Street to a certain degree. But what they would do, they would deliberately run freeways down these areas. If you look at Central Avenue, the 110 freeway is right next to it.
Yeah.
That was deliberately done to sabotage the businesses there. They didn't have to put that freeway right there, right by Central Avenue. They do that. They did it down in Miami. There was a thriving Black area. They put a freeway right next to it. In Detroit, they had Hastings Street. They put a freeway right next to it. Anywhere you go around the country where the freeways were, those were the thriving Black business areas. And if we look at Crenshaw right now, they got a train system going right down Crenshaw. Yeah. Look at the businesses in Crenshaw now. Everything is kind of uprooted now.
That's true.
So it's a very interesting history, man.
Right. Now, let me ask you. Did you grow up with both of your parents in the household?
No, my mother and father were not together. Just they were together for a quick minute, but we left. She had to come back down to Alabama with me. And my dad stayed in Detroit, but I would go visit back and forth. And I grew up with my mother, my grandmother, and my uncles down in Alabama. And when I was a teen, I just wasn't feeling Alabama. Alabama was a little too slow motion for me.
Right.
So I got a $150 plane ticket at 17. Came out here to L.A. and, I wanted to be a music producer, wanted to get into the entertainment industry. And, when you look at television and see Hollywood, you think, oh, damn, it's going to be beaches and Corvettes.
Right.
And I came out here in the 80s. It was Crips, blood, and crack. So I got a very rude awakening out here. But it was heavy and it was a life lesson.
Right. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Let me ask you, what kind of books have you read to help inspire you and motivate you to go hard?
Yeah. The book that changed my life was a book called The ISIS Papers by Dr. Frances Cress Welsing.
Okay.
When I read that book, that changed everything because she explained how systematic racism works and how we have to understand it. She said, if we don't understand systematic racism, everything else is going to confuse you because racism dominates every aspect of all of our activity.
Break that down.
You have 9 areas of activity.
Okay.
Yeah. Labor, law, medicine, education, sex, war, religion, and politics. Okay. Systematic white supremacy dominates every single one of those areas. And it's the most dominating factor on the planet. And it's so normalized, we don't even see it.
Right.
But we feel it and it's there. So she really broke it down, and she broke it down about the reason of it. The reason why there's this systematic white supremacy that these people from Europe created was because of their fear of genetic annihilation. When they have sexual access to Black people, we can wipe out their genetics. Meaning if a white person has sex with a Black person, the child is going to come out Black. And the main progenitors of sex are the Black men. That's why Black males are targeted, and that's why Black male genitals are always targeted. So when they would lynch Black men, the first thing they would do was castrate them. They would attack the genitals.
Yeah.
Right now, there's a show on Netflix about Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah. Have you been watching it?
Yes, I watched the whole thing. That's a powerful piece, man.
Hey, man, I'm on I think there's 10 episodes.
10, yeah.
I'm
Which
on
one are you on?
I'm on like 5 or 6 right now.
You got to watch that whole thing.
Yeah.
They don't go into everything, but in the real story, Jeffrey Dahmer we all know he was targeting Black men.
Right.
Raping them.
Yeah.
But what Jeffrey would do, he would also castrate them and use their penises as trophies. He would have the penises all around the crib as trophies. So that psychological dynamic of idolizing Black male genitalia from the dominant society, that's a real thing and it's real deep, and we have to understand why.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's deep, man.
Yeah.
That's
So yeah, when I read that took me somewhere to a whole different place.
Right.
And I had Dr. Frances Cress Welsing in some of my Hidden Colors films.
right.
Because she was teaching at Howard, and they kind of did her wrong, and she was kind of retired to a certain degree. And I brought that sister back and put her in movie screens all around the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, do you have any siblings?
I got sisters on my dad's side, but I grew up as an only child.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up an only child. So being an only child is a good thing to a certain degree because you can make bold decisions and nobody will talk you out of them.
Right.
You dig? Sometimes when you have a sibling and you give them an idea, you know, they'll say, oh, you can't do that. Or if you do that, this is going to happen. Oh, you can't move to another city. You're going to starve. You're going to lose your money. So nobody would talk me out of anything. So
Right.
I learned how to be very bold at a young age.
Okay. Let me ask you, what's up with Candace Owens? Blocking you some years ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she blocked me years ago because Candace, so here's the thing with Candace Owens. Candace Owens is a performative coon.
Okay.
You dig?
Break that down,
She's a performative coon.
Uh-huh.
She's cooning for a bag.
Okay.
She knows what she's doing. And what we do with people like Candace Owens, we kind of mock them and make fun of them, but we shouldn't shadow box, because what I do with Candace Owens, I look at the people who pay her to say all of this anti-Black rhetoric. We have to understand with white supremacy, they have to hide themselves. And what they'll do is get a Black person to spew the dirty words for them and do the dirty work for them.
Butter biscuit.
Right. So instead of some white person coming out in the media saying, well, Black people are criminals and Black people are dumb, just put Candace Owens up there and say it. Yeah, she'll say it for them. All the heat goes on her. She has no reputation to maintain. She's a crash dummy. Her only job is to go out here and say weird stuff about Black society. Yeah. You think? And you have these white supremacist think tanks who put Black people up there to do that. They do it with Jesse Lee Peterson. He's another person who's real coonish. Herschel Walker, they doing that with him. Right. So we have to understand these people are propped up to do all of this stuff. Definitely. So.
Break down the word coon for me. Right. And for the people watching that might not know the proper definition of coon and cooning is.
Right. A coon is a person within our community who works with white society to undermine Black society. That's what a coon is.
There we go.
Now, in white society, when they call somebody a coon, they're talking about all of us. They think, back in slavery, they used to say, oh, go look at those coons on the plantation. Right. But we look at coon as just something different. This is somebody who's trying to undermine us. Yeah. Yeah.
Tariq.
Yeah.
How do you feel about interracial dating?
Interracial dating is cool as long as the Black person don't get confused by it. Okay. You see, that's the thing. Okay. Because I don't like to tell people you shouldn't interracially date, because if you tell somebody they shouldn't do anything, they're going to desire it more. You dig? You're going to make it a forbidden taboo. Right. So you date whoever you want to date, but don't you be confused when you get out of bed. See, a lot of times Black people will have sexual relations with white people, and then you get out of the bed thinking, okay, well, I've overcame racism. Right. You dig? That's the big mistake. Let's go back to Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer had sex with Black dudes and killed them afterwards. Yeah. And white society protected Jeffrey Dahmer. See, that's the most insidious thing about Jeffrey Dahmer. Right. He was doing this stuff for years, and white judges, white police officers were protecting him. Right. People knew what he was doing. You had Black people calling saying, hey, man, this guy is suspicious. This guy tried to kill me. This guy had me tied up. They've been reporting Jeffrey for years, and they didn't do anything. So he understood the benefits of the system of white supremacy. Black folks, when we start getting with people and having sexual access, we forget we don't have that system to protect us. And sometimes when that person gets out of bed after having sexual access, they're not forfeiting their white privilege. Right. Yeah? Right. I got you. Slave owners had interracial sex. Right. You know, they'd have sex with a Black person, then get up and sell them. Right. You know?
Yeah, cold game.
Real talk. We better understand what this thing is about.
Right. Let me ask you now, how do you feel about the whole Black and brown unity thing? Do you feel that we can come closer? Or do you feel like we've already united more throughout the years? Or, I mean, just what's your input on that? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, right now there's a lot of talk about Black-brown relations, Black-brown strife, especially in LA. Yeah. The thing is, there's been kind of a one-sided coalition. When we talk about Black and brown, what we're talking about is Black people fighting for the rights of all of these other groups. And it's been one-sided. And I've always been somewhat critical of the Hispanic brothers and sisters, because they could do more to strengthen the coalition. None of their organizations actually advocate for anything for us. Usually it's a one-sided thing. If you look at the NAACP, they're always advocating for immigrant groups, the Congressional Black Caucus, immigrant groups, DACA, all of these programs. So our organizations are always fighting for a Black-Brown coalition to help Hispanic people get a leg up in the United States. But some of the Hispanic organizations like LULAC, which is one of the biggest ones, they used to go out of their way to say, hey, the Negro problem is not our problem. They would distance themselves from us. See, that has to be rectified. And also the anti-Black racism within Latino culture has to be rectified because that's a real thing. When you go to Latino countries, and I've been to many, you have the lighter Latinos living here and the Black Latinos living somewhere on the other side of the country.
Hey, it's like that in Puerto Rico.
Yes, it is.
In a lot of parts of Puerto Rico, I've noticed. And in Cuba.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Man.
Colombia, I've seen it in Colombia. Costa Rica, I've been to Costa Rica a few times. The light Costa Ricans on the west side, the Black ones over there on the Caribbean side. Every place. Mexico, they have the Muskogos.
The Afro-Latinos.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, they're on a whole nother part of Mexico. You know, they're kind of over here chilling, doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen it, you know, I've read about it, seen it on YouTube and things like that.
And the interesting thing, it's the Afro-Latinos who are the ones who are the progenitors of the culture in Latin society. When you look at the food and the culture and the music, that comes from the Black people down there.
It does.
You dig?
That's
down
true.
Even Mexico. People always forget Mexico was a slave colony.
Right.
You dig? So menudo, all of that food, that was from Black people. Spanish rice, that comes from Black people.
Horchata does too.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yes,
but
indeed.
horchata is actually an African drink. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
That's true.
So yeah, Black culture, that is the culture down there. That's what makes that culture stand out, and that's what makes it unique. Also, it was the Black people down there who was fighting for independence.
Yeah.
You dig?
That's true.
In Cuba, those were Black Cubans fighting for independence, getting the Spanish off of them.
Yeah.
In Santo Domingo and all of those places, it was the Black people, the Haitians and all of those people fighting the Spanish and the European powers.
Right.
Vicente Guerrero down in Mexico, he was Black and they were fighting the Spanish. So we have to really recognize the significance of Black people in those cultures and, unfortunately, the racism that they face today.
And I've noticed, too, it seemed like it's been something, you know, some type of tension between light-skinned people, right, and dark-skinned people from the beginning of time. There's always been some type of tension, you know, they looking down at these people or these people looking at these people. Something. It's always been like that from the beginning of time. Talking about different countries, about how the lighter people, it seems like they're over here and the darker people are set over here. I've noticed in Brazil, it's not so much like that in Brazil. They're more together, you know.
But you still have some of that racism.
You got some still, yeah, definitely.
Because, you know, you go to the favelas, and I've been down to Brazil, you know, the darker people, the Afro-Brazilians in the favelas. And again, the Afro-Brazilians, they're the progenitors of the culture. Capoeira, all of that, that's African stuff.
Right.
The food, the drums and all of that. So you do have it down in Brazil. But for a while, you had Black people going into Europe in the Middle Ages called the Moors. They were Black people from Africa. All right?
Yep.
And Black people, those Moors, dominated Spain. That's why Spanish people are darker than the other Europeans. And that's why Spain came out of Europe first. They were the first people to come out of Europe with technology to a certain degree because the Moors gave it to them.
Yeah.
Black people literally saved Europeans. They were dying out in Europe. They had something called they had a couple of plagues. The first one was called the Justinian plague, which about 80% of the people in Europe died, man. They were literally about to die out. The Moors
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Damn, you putting me on game.
Yeah.
Damn.
The Moors came in there.
Jinx getting educated.
Yes, indeed.
On his own show. You put me on game, nigga.
Some of this is in the Hidden Colors movies.
Right.
Yeah. But the Moors came in, saved them, and brought in medicine, alcohol, science, technology.
Yeah.
And they would revere the Moors, these black-skinned people.
Right.
The white people wanted to be like them to a certain degree. You know, they would tan themselves and try to dress like them to a certain degree. So whoever's in power, people want to attain to be like the people in power.
Right.
So you have a lot of people, white people in power now. So a lot of people want to come over and get down with the white society. Like a lot of Hispanics, they come over here and they're brought over by democratic policies, but when they get here, they start hanging with the right-wingers and the Republicans, and they try to get down with that. They want to whiten up that metalarasa, that whole thing where you improve the race, meaning whiten up. That's a part of Hispanic culture.
How do you feel about religion when it comes to, well, let me ask you this. Would you agree that most religions are man-made?
Yeah.
Hands down, right?
Yeah, all of
Off
them
top,
man-made.
right.
Yeah. It's and religions are cool. People have different ways that they can relate to the Most High, which is cool.
Right.
That's all a religion is. It's a person's technique and strategy and rituals, how they can relate to the Most High.
Right.
And there's no, I don't say a good religion, a bad religion. It's all relative.
Yeah.
Because what religion works, if a religion works for us as black people, the dominant society might look at it as negative. For example, voodoo, that's a religion.
Yeah.
Voodoo is a religion.
Break that down.
Yeah,
Because I never knew voodoo was a religion.
It's a religion. Of course.
I never knew that.
Yes, indeed.
Break that shit down.
Yeah, they have gods. Right here, where is it? This is Ogun. This is the symbol of Ogun. This is the Veve of Ogun, a voodoo god. Okay.
Now, is that bad?
No, it's not bad. Not bad.
Because some people, they think of voodoo as being satanic and evil and putting, like witchcraft and putting spells on motherfuckers. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you got to break this down.
Voodoo is basically black people relating to nature and relating to the spirit realm. Okay. That's it. They relate to nature. You're getting in touch with nature. That's why it's, you're using herbs and you're doing certain rituals that have to do with earth. Okay. So it's just relating to nature.
Okay.
And the thing is, you pray to your own gods. You give sacrifice to your own gods.
Okay.
Your African gods, your black gods, and you don't have gods of forgiveness and all that. You have gods of war. And the reason why voodoo became negative was because of the Haitian Revolution.
The Haitian,
the Haitian Revolution. A lot of the enslaved people were Christians, okay? They got tired of the French abusing them, so they went into the swamp. They had a voodoo ceremony. They had something at a place called Bois Cayman in Haiti. They started this voodoo ritual, tapped back into their voodoo religion, and the gods told them to rise up against the white supremacists. They used their religion to beat 3 armies. They beat the French army, the Spanish, and the British army. Okay. That was one of the most thorough victories in recorded history. That was the first time in history a slave population rose up and took over a whole country. The Haitian Revolution is something that has been underreported. I did a movie called 1804 talking about it. Okay. That scared white people so bad that they made voodoo negative. It was white people doing that. In the 1920s and 30s in America, they started making zombie movies. Yeah. And the early zombie movies had black people who were Haitian in the movies. If you look at those movies, even now, the zombies are representative of Haitian people in a trance. They have them different colors now, but the word zombie comes from a man named John Zombie, who was a Haitian who was real vicious in the Haitian Revolution. So even the name. So whenever something gives us strength, it's always looked at as negative.
Right. Damn. That's deep. Hey, I got a question talking about voodoo and things like that. Because, I'm thinking about the big teeth now, that's around the necklace and the pink and the dance and all that.
And they got something like that in Cuba.
Sangria,
what is it called?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And in Jamaica too.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Now, talking about the spells, because I know there's some that do, there's some women, they'll put that period blood in that spaghetti and have your ass like a motherfucker.
Yes, indeed. Yes. That hoodoo.
Have a nigga hook like a motherfucker, right?
Indeed. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But see, all religions have some kind of ritual. You dig? Like if you go to a Christian church, somebody might have the Holy Ghost.
There you go, and talk in tongues.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Somebody can say, well, is that demonic? You dig?
No, let me ask
you. It's all relative. Let me ask you,
people that do the voodoo religion, can they talk in tongues? And can the spirit come over them and things like that?
But when they do it in voodoo, they say, okay, that nigga's a zombie. They're like, oh, the devil is taking over.
Right. But really, it's not no satanic shit or nothing like that.
Not at all.
Okay, I had a buddy of mine. He was from Nigeria. And he was telling me that there's a certain tribe there that are like extremely powerful. Like they pray, they dance, and all that other stuff, and they do little other sacrifices and stuff with goats and sheep and all that. But these people can actually fly.
He must be talking about the Dogon. The Dogon. It sounds like the Dogon. It might be.
Yeah, they can actually fly and, you know what I'm saying? All that shit.
Well, you have a tribe over there, man, called the Dogon tribe. And the white people went over there in the 1800s, and the Dogon was telling them about planets and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
You didn't have telescopes and stuff back then.
No.
So these white people documented all of these planets and all of these solar systems that these Dogon people were telling them about. Damn near a century later, when we got the technology, everything they told them existed.
Wow.
When we got the NASA and all of that stuff popping, and they went back and looked at those notes, all that stuff that those Dogon people were telling them were up there. They were like, how the hell did they know all this stuff?
Damn.
You know?
Wow. Let me ask you, what motivated you, or I should say inspired you, to make these hidden color films?
Yeah, man. You know what?
What got you? You know what I'm saying?
Right. A lot of people ask me that. People,
right. Like,
because,
what was the steak and potatoes of that shit?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because no film had ever been done like that before.
None.
Yeah.
And I've only seen 1, 2, and 3. I never even got to 4. I think you got 5.
There's 5.
Yeah, so I got to watch 4 and 5.
Yes,
I watched 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
We started doing them in 2010. That's,
okay.
Yeah,
that was the first one.
The first one was
okay.
2010.
I met you when you did the second one.
2012.
12, right. Okay.
So the first one came out 2011, but what made me want to do it, remember 2010, 2008, around that time, remember the movies that were out at the time. You had movies like The Help.
Yeah.
With the maids.
I remember that.
The Blind Side, where the black...
with Sandra Bullock. And
yeah, he's moping around like a big Sambo.
Right.
You had The Butler. You had movies like Precious.
Yeah.
All of these movies, man, that made us look crazy.
Right.
We always looked negative. We always looked downtrodden. It was almost like some kind of degradation porn, man. It was just real negative images of us. And black people were like, we need better images of ourselves in these movies. And nobody was doing them. And nobody in Hollywood was doing them. I said, well, you know what? I know something about filmmaking. Let me put something together where we talk about Black history and we challenge systematic racism. I said, let me try something. Let me get all of the scholars that I like. Let me get a bunch of people whose books that I've read, people who inspired me, and let's put them all in a movie, and all we do is talk about different tidbits of untold history. Didn't know how it was going to do. We were making the film. The first film came out to be around 2 hours and 30 minutes. I'm like, damn, this is a long-ass film. Are people going
it up?
Yeah. But the thing, no, we left it at 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Oh, you're right. It was 2 hours and some change.
So I work out a deal to get it in theaters around the country to have a weekend run, and we don't know how it's going to do. I'm at the theater, the same theater where I met you.
Right.
We always have the screenings there.
Right.
So this movie, nobody knows what it's really about. They just heard there's a lot of black scholars in it. So I'm in the front row with a hat on. You know, like, this shit is whack. I'm going to run out this exit.
And ain't nobody going to know who you are. Yeah, because you was at Scott, right.
Yeah, I'm going to get the hell out of here.
With it, right.
So the movie, 2 hours, everybody's eyes are glued to the screen. After the movie is over, people just applauding, and then people didn't move. They didn't get out the theater. People just sat there like they were in shock, like they had to be debriefed.
Right.
And the movie took off from there, man. The Hidden Colors series became the best-selling Black history documentary series ever, man. Damn. Ever. And it's all independent. So
wow.
From there, we started selling out movie theaters every single time. And that movie is shown in schools and taught in universities all over the place, man. It has brought in the woke movement. I'm proud of everybody involved in that film.
Right.
Man. So
man, that I would say for sure 1, 2, and 3. Like I said, I ain't got to 4 and 5 yet.
Yeah.
But very educational, man. Really opens up the mind. You know what I'm saying? Indeed. And put you on game.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did you ever get any DM from people trying to talk shit about the film? Like, oh, I don't think that's true.
Well, you can't,
haters. And
they'll try to hate, but you can't debunk anything. What are you going to do?
The truth is the truth.
The truth is the truth.
That part.
Now, what you do have some white racists, they'll get mad.
Right.
They're like, well, damn it, you niggas said you created everything. Well, damn it, we did.
You ever seen that episode of Jerry Springer back in, was it Jerry Springer? I want to say it was Jerry Springer or maybe old school Jenny Jones. Remember Jenny Jones? Shout out to Jenny Jones.
I was on Jenny Jones.
You was on Jenny Jones?
I was on Jenny Jones
with
before.
Rude Jude and all
Rude Jude. I was on episode with Jude.
Okay, yeah. I might be giving up my age right now, but yeah, I ain't that young. But anyway, what you call it? But I remember it was a white guy on there, Caucasian man, and he really, was bashing black people, right? Well, yet alone people of color, period, right? And come to find out, dude had like 48% of African blood in him.
That wasn't Jenny Jones. I know what show that it was. I think
Geraldo or some shit.
God, I know what you're talking about.
You remember that episode?
Was Shahrazad Ali on there with them? I think I remember Shahrazad Ali.
I don't know.
Was he? I think the dude was talking
big
about
heavyset dude with a beard.
I don't remember. Okay, this is another show then. But yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, genetically, everybody has some kind of African genetics.
Oh yeah, dude. Of course, yeah, for sure. I agree with that. 100%.
They do.
Yeah.
That's why white people don't really like genetic tests.
Right.
They don't like that. They don't want to really get deep into no damn genetic tests.
Well, you don't get black from white. You get white from black.
Absolutely.
That part.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I'm saying? I'm curious to that.
Yes, indeed.
You even know you ain't got no alcohol in that motherfucking name.
Yes, indeed.
But let's get to some music shit.
Yeah.
What kind of music did you grow up listening to?
Funk music, man. I grew up listening to funk,
okay.
R&B in the 70s, 80s, man. Then hip-hop. When hip-hop, I was always a big fan of hip-hop, still is. I'm going to be doing a hip-hop documentary soon. That's the next project.
Oh.
Yeah, we got to do that.
Nice.
And we're going to talk a lot about West Coast hip-hop, too.
Yes.
The origin of that.
G-Funk and all that. Yeah, come on, man.
We're going to talk about Uncle Jam's Army and all of that stuff from back in the day.
Roger and Zap, Death Row, Dog, and all that.
Well, we're going way before that. World-class Wrecking Crew. We're going all the way to the beginning of it. Because, man, a lot of folks don't know, these EDM parties that they have, where they have all these DJs, that started in L.A. with Uncle Jam's Army. They were the first DJ crew where everybody came to see DJs in the thousands. They would sell out the Coliseum. Yeah. You remember that, the sports arena? Yeah.
You remember that song? Damn.
Yeah, we're DJs. No rappers, all DJs.
I totally remember that.
That part.
Egyptian Lover and all that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Egyptian Lover. Yeah, that's old school.
Yeah. They were doing that like 40 years before these people are doing it now, where DJs are selling out these venues. They started that stuff. A lot of stuff started out here. 24-hour radio station that plays hip-hop, K-Day, Greg Mack.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah, 100%.
Yes, indeed. So.
Now, when you say funk, are you talking about like the Barcades, Midnight Star, all that funk, Patrice Rush?
Starting with Parliament, in the 70s.
Right.
Parliament, Rick James,
Cameo.
going into Cameo.
Come on now,
Prince, Morris Day and the Time, all of that stuff, man.
Yes.
The funk movement was going on really at the same time the hip-hop movement was going on.
It was.
Wait,
it was Crossfire.
I didn't hear Bootsy in there.
Oh, yeah, Bootsy.
Oh,
Big
Bootsy
fan
Collins.
Of Bootsy.
Oh, yeah.
Big
100%.
Yeah.
No, 100%. War, you know what I'm saying? They were great.
Yes, indeed.
You just got so many groups at that time, man, in the 80s, man, late 70s into the 80s.
Yeah.
That's when, Santana, of course, can't go wrong with Santana. Sade. I love some Sade. You fuck with Sade?
Yeah, she was the truth.
Yeah, hell yeah. She's a smooth operator. You know what I'm saying? Now, how do you feel about the music now? Or do you even consider it music?
I like it. I like some of the stuff some of the cats are doing. I like, because I try to be appreciative of a lot of the stuff. Sometimes some of the guys aren't going to be as lyrical as some of the people we grew up with. We grew up with Rakim and people who are lyrical.
Right.
Nas, we grew up with that.
Oh, yeah.
So oftentimes we try to compare what's going on now to some of those cats. Now, we do have the J. Coles and the Kendricks who are very lyrical guys.
Sure.
I love what they're doing. I like some of the mumble mouth dudes. I like some of the mumble rappers.
Okay.
Some of it is catchy. Sometimes I don't want to think too deep. Sometimes I want to put on something to groove to while I'm putting on clothes in the morning.
Yeah, I feel
So there's something for everything. And plus people have such short attention spans now.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be thinking too deeply anyway. You just kind of want to hear something on your way to going somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the music vibe is now. It's just it's just not too deep. That can be a gift and a curse. Sometimes, we kind of do need something deep to balance it out, So it is what it is.
Talking about the younger youth and things like that, why do you think that this new generation has absolutely no skills at all I'm not talking about music. Hold up. You trying to talk about, well, I could get back to that too.
Go ahead.
But why 100% no skills when it comes to socializing and communication?
Great question.
Why is that?
Because of social media, brother. Social media. The thing is, man, when we were growing up, 80s and 90s, we didn't have the internet like that. So in order to socialize, you had to physically go out here, go to a social place, go to the mall.
Yeah.
You didn't go to the club, go to the beach.
Yes.
You had to physically go somewhere and interact with people. The way you moved dictated the way you were going to be treated.
That's
if you were walking around, especially in LA, if you were hostile and trying to jump bad and you ain't really about the business, somebody would check you on that. You had to carry yourself a certain way. You had to humble yourself to a certain way. When you talk to women, your mouthpiece had to be crisp. You had to know what to say, what not to say.
How to say it.
How to say it. You had to go through trial and error.
Yes.
Now, you meet people and you can tweet your emotions.
Yeah.
LOL. You know, crying out loud.
Right.
I'm sad. So it's verbal but nonverbal. Most communication is nonverbal. People feel you instead of hear you.
Right.
So people are not feeling you now, so people don't have any social skills.
Right.
And also relationships now have become so transactional because of online activity. You meet somebody and you meet a girl and hell, she's like, look at my OnlyFans page. That's how you get to know me. Subscribe to my OnlyFans.
It's a turnoff.
It's
a big
all
turnoff.
transactional now.
I think also when it comes to, the whole dating scene, if you ask a woman, hey, are you single? And she said, yeah, I'm single. But you come to find out that she has a lot of guy friends, cut that shit off immediately. Because them niggas is just on standby.
Yes, indeed.
To either, number one, they're either thinking, trying, or they don't already fuck her.
Exactly.
That part. Again, back to the dating shit. Man, this shit got me faded like a mug. Now, you know what's really annoying? Is when you try to, approach a beautiful woman, and you say, hey, can I get your phone number? She says, okay, yeah, cool. Text me. That text ends up being nothing but texting. Ain't no more phone calls. Ain't no more conversations, interactions.
Right.
And, I think that's how you can actually know if you even want to take this person on a date or not. Because she could be beautiful. She could have ass, titties, hips, thighs, lips, everything. But that mind could be a turnoff.
Right. And a lot of these women are just as antisocial as the dudes now.
100%.
Because women now, they'll take a picture online and put it on Instagram of their ass showing. And 500 niggas will give them a like. So they think that's some type of interaction.
Well, Kanye said that she'll do it for the gram before she do it for her man.
You're doing it for the gram. And these women, you're getting a bunch of people liking you on the gram and you're getting your satisfaction. But when you get in a relationship with a dude, she can't cook worth a damn. Her crib is dirty. You think?
Roaches,
the roaches
dipping on doom buggies. Roaches on doom buggies.
She could be real hood rat. She got spiders. Yeah. That's a real hood rat when they got spiders.
Nasty. That's nasty.
So roaches and spiders.
Silverfish everywhere and shit.
Yeah, all in the bathroom and shit. Yeah, the motherfucker got crickets. She got all types of wildlife in her crib. Keeping you up, and you trying to hit it from the back, and the cricket's a cricket.
Right. Hell yeah, June bugs flying around that motherfucker.
So but they look good on the gram though.
That part. And be broke than a motherfucker.
Exactly. I always tell people, the chicks that you see doing the mirror selfies, look at how dirty the mirror is. The mirror is always dirty.
No, I don't, it's not even just the mirror. It's everything that's on the sink. You know what I'm saying? In the bathroom.
Exactly.
That part. Exactly. Hello. Oh, so you observe. You know what's up.
I saw it. I see it all the time.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I see you got a wedding band on your ring. On your ring finger. How long you been married for?
Me and my wife, we've been together for We've been together for 14 years, married for 7, I think.
Congratulations. That's a blessing, man.
I don't know why I waited 7 damn years.
You goddamn.
Yeah, I waited 7 years. I'm like, Lord.
Damn.
Yeah,
I waited 3.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But we did it, though.
But we did it.
Yes, indeed.
That part.
We did it.
And now, what you call it? Now, how was it then? Because you said 14 years ago. Yeah. So it wasn't the whole texting thing like that. It was more communication, socializing,
we were together all
interacting.
The time. Yeah, we were together all the time. So, it was, and we vibed, man. We just hit it off and vibed, and we were together all the time.
Right.
So, we kicked it like that. And this was before social media was really, really, really popping like it is now. It wasn't no TikTok, wasn't no Instagram back then. So yeah, I feel for a lot of the brothers out here now and the ladies too, because some of these dudes be out here flossing. You see niggas on the gram and they're standing in front of their homeboy's car and they got the money, you know, and they be flossing. So
Yeah.
a lot of it is show-offism and not no real compassionate relationships no more.
Right.
You know.
Okay. Yeah. Let's switch the script now.
Yes, indeed.
What is? I think you know what I'm finna ask you. What is your issue with American Cholo?
Oh yeah, American Cholo.
Yeah. Now I had him on the podcast.
Okay, yeah, I think I saw
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Great dude. Great conversation. Cool dude. I want to know the issue with you guys on your behalf now.
Yeah, well, the issue that a lot of people have, not just me, because a lot of people have an issue with dude.
Okay.
And a lot of the issues that they have with him is a lot of his anti-black racism. The truth is, he said a bunch of anti-black racist stuff.
Okay.
That's the bottom line.
Okay.
And it wasn't about me. Some of the stuff was about me later, but people have pulled up just dozens and dozens of clips of this dude talking real greasy about black people.
Okay.
And a lot of people have been checking him on it. I was one of the people who kind of checked him on it.
Okay.
Fortunately, there are people from the Hispanic community who are kind of checking him on it too. They don't want that energy.
Right.
Now, he's cool with some black people. That's fine. Y'all got a good relationship with him. That's fine.
Right.
But that type of anti-black racism, me as an activist, I don't tolerate it from anybody, the white supremacists or people from Latino society who are not Anglo-white, but who sometimes identify with white society. Because it's just as dangerous, because you have a lot of people who are connected to some of these alt-right groups and neo-Nazi groups who are actually Hispanic. You dig?
Yeah.
The Proud Boys is a white supremacist group. One of the people that they put up as a spokesperson was a Cuban dude.
Yeah.
A dude named Terry.
Facts.
Yeah, you know?
I know about that.
Yeah.
That's facts.
Yeah, so that can't go down. We got to check all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because especially if we are trying to have a so-called black and brown coalition, we can't fight and get our heads bashed in trying to bring over Latino brothers and sisters, and then you're going to join the damn neo-Nazis. So we have to do something about that.
Right.
So if people are talking with that type of neo-Nazi white supremacist ideology, we just got to call them out on that.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, is there any way you can sit down with him and you guys discuss issues and make a peace treaty?
I've offered to go to his spot. I offered to go to his spot. He can come to my spot, to my production studio.
Okay.
Anytime to talk. Now, there is going to be some Hispanic folks, because I talked to some people today. There's a brother named Bride Dog from Compton, and we're going to have a sit down pretty soon with some people. So, yeah, and he's invited.
Okay.
Yeah, he's invited.
Well, check this out.
Yeah.
I got something a little bigger than that. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
So I spoke to American Cholo a couple days ago, and I asked him, would you like to come back on Drinks with Jinx? And would you be willing to sit down and have a sit-down conversation with Tariq? And I'll be the media. I'll be in the middle, right?
Yeah.
I'm asking you now, would you be down?
I'll be down, of course.
Let's set that up, and it will happen on Drinks with Jinx.
That's what it is. We can make that happen.
Extremely soon. I mean, like, I'm finna blink, bam, right now type shit. We're going to make that happen.
Yes, indeed.
Because he had nothing negative to say about you. He's willing to sit down, have a conversation. I love that you're wanting and willing to sit down, have a conversation. And that's what it's about.
Yes, it is.
And that's what I tell these young, dumb knuckleheads out here in these streets. You got to stop reacting all the time. See, as men, there's something called responding. There's nothing wrong with responding, but reacting is a whole nother ball game.
Yes,
because reacting can get you fucked up.
Yes, indeed.
Reacting can get you put in jail. You can lose your life sometimes. So it's good to always be able to sit down, conversate. That's how I was raised. If you have an issue with another person, you sit down, you conversate.
Yes, indeed.
Now, if the person can't comprehend and understand, then you know what it is. That part, right? But you always, as men, especially us men of color, you got to try to sit down and conversate and try to nip shit in the bud. So we're going to make that happen. Yeah, we'll have Tariq Nasheed, American Cholo, on the Drinks with Jinx podcast. God damn it. And we're gonna make it do what it do, baby.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
let the fans know what upcoming projects you got coming up.
We have a new movie called American Maroon coming out. We're talking about the black people who escaped from plantations, who lived in the swamps of South Carolina, Florida, New Orleans, Louisiana, and fought and freed themselves from plantations, fought the U.S. Army, freed other black people, burned plantations down. That's a story that's not told. That's coming out in December. Phenomenal story.
Right.
Also, we're planning another march, possibly in D.C. next month for reparations, because there's a big reparations movement going on right now. We're trying to get our paper from the U.S. government. We're owed from slavery. So we're working on that right now. I have a museum that I'm opening here in Los Angeles. The Hidden History Museum.
I
You heard
seen
about
that on your Instagram.
Yeah.
You posted it.
Yes, indeed. We got a building on Jefferson. We already bought the building, already got the building. So we're going to start curating now. I'm getting all the artifacts and we're doing the painting and everything. So that's going to be ready by the middle of next year.
Right.
So we got big things going on.
Okay. Perfect. Let me ask you, why do you think it's so tough for black people to stick together? I'm asking some good shit tonight.
Yeah, good question.
We vibing, man.
Yes,
we flowing with it,
well,
man.
the thing is, we have been incentivized to not stick together.
Okay.
Meaning, when we're supposed to get on code with each other, white society will go and pay a Candace Owens to get out here and thwart what we got going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, because of economic deprivation, this is why reparations are so important, so we won't be so desperate for money. We will do anything for money oftentimes because of the lack thereof. And white society knows how to paper us up to do things against our own best interests. Yeah. Even with the music, when we look at the music now. Remember, when we were doing independent records in the 80s, a lot of records came out pretty positive. Rappers, to a certain degree, they had a self-imposed ban on drugs. Yeah. You understand? Right. Even NWA, the records they put out, Dope Man, that was against drugs. Yeah. That was an anti-drug record. Right. You know? Stop the violence and self-destruction, and they were against all of drugs. 100%. Now, the record labels are papering up all of these artists. That's all they rap about is doing drugs now. Percocets, Molly's, all of that stuff. Lean and all that, right. We weren't doing that back in the day, but they're getting incentivized to do this. Rappers have drug names, Lil Percocet and Lil Crackhead and all of this stuff. Right. So, you said what, Little Crackhead? Yeah. So cats are getting incentivized to go against their own self-interest, man. So again, we have to get ourselves to a position where we don't have to shoot ourselves in the foot culturally. Right. You know? Okay. You know? I got a good question for you. Another great question for you. Do you think things were better when Trump was in the White House or while Biden has been in the White House? Truth be told, a lot of people... Keep it G, Tariq. Let me keep it a G. Actually, Trump, and we're going to talk about the lesser of the two evils. Yeah. Break it down. Trump was better because with Trump, and I always say this, we only had to deal with some of the white supremacists with Trump. With Biden and the Democrats in office, they have incentivized all of these other groups over us, and they're hostile towards us. So we have to deal with anti-black people who are in Latino, Asian, Arab communities. We have to deal with that because they've incentivized these people and used our resources to give to them. The Biden administration, they use our tax dollars to give to Ukrainians. Facts. When you have so many homeless black people here in LA who need that money. On Skid Row. You dig? So Trump didn't do all that now. You know what I'm saying? No. Trump wasn't giving our money to all these different countries. You see? You have the Biden administration and these people giving money to LGBT organizations, and no disrespect to them, but you're giving these groups money before you give it to us? Yeah. Trump wasn't doing that. Right. So I don't want my tax dollars going to all of these other groups, and it's not going to us. So Biden is horrible for black people. Yeah. I feel you. Yeah. Now, what's this I heard you got banned from the UK? Yeah, man. What the fuck happened, man? They banned me I was on my way to the UK to do a screening of Hidden Colors 5. And they stopped us at the airport, and they came with a letter from the UK Home Office. They were like, well, you can't go to the UK. You're banned. I'm like, well, how long have I been banned? You're just banned. You can't go. And if we take you, the airline is going to be sued by the British government. And it was a whole big thing.
Oh, it was like that?
It was like that. Yeah, they were like.
Oh, they were tripping.
I'm like, what's the reason? And they gave me this real generic reason because I haven't done anything.
Right, man.
So they said, well, my presence, this was the official answer, my presence is not conducive to the good of British society. Right. That's the official answer. Meaning, basically, I talk a lot about white supremacy and they don't want me to rile the niggas up over there.
Okay.
Because you got some riders in the UK. You got some brothers,
yeah, I bet.
Yeah, you got some brothers and sisters who are riders over there.
Right.
You know?
Damn.
Yeah. But Britain is funny. I mean, Britain, they were the ones who spread white supremacy around the world. You know, they colonized, indoctrinated 90% of the damn planet. So that British racism, it permeated the world, man. And that's why people were tripping on the folks crying over the Queen dying. When Queen, they're like, why the hell y'all crying? There were people in Jamaica and Africa crying over that woman. They're like, what the hell you crying over her for?
Yeah.
She devastated your country, you know?
Wow, that's deep.
It's
right
heavy.
there. Yeah, that's heavy, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
God damn.
Yes, indeed.
Anything you want to ask me, Tariq?
Oh, man.
Because we was chopping it up.
Yes, indeed.
Good before we rolled these cameras on,
Yes.
man. We at least 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was some good stuff.
Some good stuff. What you got to ask me? Because lately I've been having my my guests on my show ask me questions. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Because, again, we're having a conversation. It's not an interview.
Yeah, of course.
Off top.
Okay. Now, with you, growing up in L.A., like in the 90s, because I can see that was your coming of age in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think the vibe in L.A. on the streets now, how is it different now than then?
From the 90s to now. Oh, man. That's a good question, man. I would say there was still some bullshit back then, right? And there's still some bullshit now. So let's just clear that out the way. I think it's less unity right now.
Okay.
And more bullshit. I think there's a lot of evil in LA, man. I think there's a lot of
Evil how?
Evil how? Just a lot of killing. Drug dealing, stealing. You know, everywhere you go, it seems like, you know, you got to watch your back. You don't want to really get involved in conversation with people because they might be trying to come up on you.
Now, you're in the music industry.
I'm in the music industry,
How do you feel about this thing where rappers who come from out of town got to check in out here in L.A.?
I think that's bullshit. At the end of the day, before being a rapper, you're a man.
Yeah.
Number one.
Right.
We're all men here. Right. You should be able to go to any country, any state, any city without having to check in. Now, if it's on some gang shit, yeah, nigga, you might need to check in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I think that's where it came from.
I think that's where it came from.
You had a lot of dudes coming out
some
here
gang shit, right,
trying to claim certain sets, and they're like, if you claim us, you better start paying us.
You better tap in with us.
Right.
Break us off with a bag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nigga, now you good while you out here doing your shit. And that's what it is.
Right.
And I was talking to American Cholo last interview. I told him, look, there's nothing wrong with these out-of-state rappers paying people out here for protection.
Right.
That's cool.
Right.
Pay for your protection. There's nothing wrong with that. What I don't like is some of these people from other states, they pay their way into the hood.
Right.
Now they got all these game bangers in their music videos. They throwing the setup now. They saying cuz and blood now, right? They all up posted in the hood now and all that. You know what I'm saying? But they paid their way in.
Right.
Now, in those scenarios and cases, you got to blame whatever gang or clique or crew that may be. You seen it happen with Tekashi.
Yeah. And others. It was one cat
but
who was claiming a gang, and then somebody got shot. Then he said, I ain't in the gang no more.
Right, that part.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And, you know, but it's like that, you know. And a lot of these people, they false flagging. They're not really, you know what I'm saying? They're not really, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So I just think, go ahead.
How do you feel about that situation with PNB Rock?
I think it's sad, man. Come to find out, I just seen that it was a dad that had his son, 17-year-old son to be exact, I believe, to go in and do that shit.
Yeah.
And they both some suck-ass niggas for that.
They are. And the dad...
Because at the end of the day, not to cut you off,
yeah.
At the end of the day, it's another brother killing another brother.
Absolutely.
It's another black killing black.
And he made the neighborhood hot. And the son got arrested, the dad got arrested, and the stepmom got arrested.
Man.
You know? And they're going to get some more people on that.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
Somebody going to snitch.
Yeah.
Just like them niggas in the Young Thug. Hey, them niggas snitching like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so dumb shit like that makes the neighborhood hot, that's ridiculous.
Right.
You know?
It's sad, man, because at the end of the day, it's brothers killing brothers again.
Yeah.
Why can't a black person, you know what I'm saying, just make it?
Yeah.
Without having these knuckleheads hate on them and try to rob them. Why?
Yeah.
Why they look like, you know what I'm saying, this motherfucker a lottery ticket, like, oh yeah, we could go lick this nigga.
And that's so dumb because if you hit somebody who's high profile, they're getting you. You're not going to get away with that. The jury is hot. You can't do nothing with the jury.
Right.
The dad tried to run to Vegas in the PNB Rock case, and they still got him. So you're not going to go nowhere, and it's not worth hitting somebody high profile over no damn chain.
You know what's sad is that a lot of these youngsters, too, they so quick to rob, steal, kill another brother, right? But these bitch-ass niggas won't even take the trash out for their mama.
Yeah.
Huh? They on that PlayStation all day.
Yeah.
They on that Xbox all day playing GTA, right? 2K, Madden, right? All motherfucking day, right? And when it's time to go put in some work, yeah, they gonna go do some, but on their own kind.
Yeah.
See, this the thing I don't like. And me personally, I don't believe in robbing, stealing, and killing. I don't believe in doing shit like that.
Yeah.
That shit is wrong.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
What I don't like is also that a lot of African Americans, and I think you could co-sign on what I'm finna say, a lot of African Americans, they will go steal, kill, and rob from their own kind. They're not robbing the white man. They're not robbing that Jew. They're not robbing that Korean man out that liquor store, out that fish market, out that salon, out that nail shop. But they'll go kill a nigga for his J's, or because his chain, or his Benz he got, or just because he got a bad bitch.
And the thing is,
ain't that cold?
Yeah, when a lot of cats, when they do go to the hills or Beverly Hills somewhere to go get somebody, it's another black person. Just like with Pop Smoke. They went up in Hollywood Hills, skipped all of the white people and got him.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah, that
I don't get that.
I'm like, if you're gonna go out the hood and get another black person, that's ass backwards.
Right, that's ass backwards.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with these niggas, man? I don't understand that, bro. Man. And again, I don't promote violence, hate.
Right.
I don't promote.
We don't want nobody getting robbed.
We don't want nobody. But I'm saying,
nobody should be getting robbed.
But I'm saying, if you go, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't just. You know what I'm saying? The shit is wrong.
Right.
It don't matter if you're same ethnicity or a different ethnicity. But all I'm saying is 9 times out of 10, when you hear about these rappers getting killed, shot, it's always a black person that did it to that black person. Always. It's not a Hispanic, it's not white, it's not Jew, it's not a Middle Eastern. It's none of them. It's always a black person doing it to another black person.
Right.
These are facts. And I just can't wrap my fucking head around that. Can you help me wrap my head around? I mean, what do you think is the situation here? What's the problem? Why is it that, we live in a world where a lot of black people hate on other black people? And it's like that with music, Tariq.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't hear about this shit in jazz, blues, rock, country rock, soft rock, modern rock, metal. You know what I'm saying? R&B, none of that shit. Right. It's always in hip hop.
Because it boils down to economic deprivation. Any society that has economic deprivation, there's going to be a scramble for whatever little resources there are.
Right.
Even in white society, when they were broke and there was no resources, there was a high crime rate, especially in the 1930s. A lot of the white gangsters came out of the 30s. Babyface Nelson, John Dillinger, Bonnie and Clyde, all of them came from that Great Depression era. But what happened, white society, the government said, hey, we got to incentivize these people to stop doing this. We have to create jobs and opportunities.
Yeah.
We have to understand there's always intra-racial crime. Japanese people and Chinese people, they kill each other too. They have the Chinese mafia. They go in on each other. They go in.
Man.
The Hispanic people, you go down to Mexico, they're putting in work against each other.
Man.
So we're not an outlier to violence.
Right.
But the thing is, our violence is promoted by the corporate structure. And it's incentivized. That's the thing with us.
It's on purpose.
It's an
agenda, I believe.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, they put our violence to music and say, hey, this is the culture.
Right.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So we have to not let that be our damn culture.
Right.
You know? So that's up to us to stop that.
Yeah.
You know?
And me as a musician, as a rapper, producer, and all that, I sit back and I just look at that. I'm just like, man, this is some bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not no hater. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But truth is the truth.
Yes, indeed.
I believe 99.9% of the music that's out right now is not, how can I say this? I'm trying to be nice.
Right.
I just believe it's not music. That's as nice as I could say it, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm pretty sure, throughout time, people that grew up in the 60s that liked their music, when shit in the 70s came out, I'm pretty sure they liked it.
The vibration was different.
The vibration. The frequency was different.
Yeah, because vinyl records has a certain vibration.
Facts.
You dig?
That's deep,
it's
dude.
It's a vibration to vinyl records.
Yeah.
The vinyl is almost a form of melanin to a certain degree. Also, DJ Quick was talking about this, and DJ Quick is one of my favorite producers.
Yes.
He was talking about how tape, when they use tape, tape is like magnetic. So when you're recording a song, you're recording the energy. The energy is being magnified to that tape in the room. So you can feel Marvin Gaye and all of that's why you hear those records, you can feel that.
Damn.
Their energy is magnified to the tape. Now with music, it's digital. It's just going through computers.
Right.
You ain't really feeling that. That's why everything is just like push a button. It ain't the same feeling no more. You think? You don't feel that Luther vibe no more with somebody singing. That even Prince, that vibe, you don't feel that.
Yeah,
no
or
more.
Michael or somebody.
Michael, you don't feel the same vibe. It will sound good, but you don't feel it the same way.
It's different.
It's different.
It hits different.
Yes, indeed.
Literally,
it literally hits different.
Right.
It's different.
It ain't busting like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what the new kids saying. The younger crowd saying now.
Yeah.
Nah, that's real shit though, man. I just think, man, music ain't the same.
Yeah.
How it used to be, And again, I'm pretty sure people older than you, people older than me, used to say the same shit. When the 80s hip hop came out, oh, that's trash. Actually, the shit was banging.
Yes,
when
was.
The whole 90s Death Row era, DJ Quick, AM Sugar, all that shit, that was banging.
Yes,
because
was.
they did a lot of sampled a lot of the old, funk, right? So the thing is, you had great melodies, you had rhythm, you had good frequencies. Sonically, the shit was just mixed and mastered perfected. Perfect. You know what I'm saying? Dre, Quick, Battle Cat, all that.
Oh, yeah, Battle Cat.
Oh, come on.
But
Hell
even
yeah.
before that 90s era came in, notice, man, the golden age of hip-hop, they always point to 1988. That was the golden age where that year had so many classic records out. And we have to understand, 88,
man,
in that era, when a person made a record, they didn't have money for big studios. You didn't have Pro Tools. So if you scraped up money to do a record, you had to go in there with your hottest shit. You couldn't go in there bullshitting.
Right.
That's like KRS-One when he said when they made their first single, South Bronx, they had like $25. They had to do it in one take. They had to go in there and just kill that shit. You had to go in there with your guns blazing. You could not be, everybody wasn't in the studio smoking, getting high.
Right.
You didn't have that kind of money.
Right.
You had to put your soul on the line. And that's what people did, man. They were rapping from their heart.
Right. So, it's crazy now, Tariq, because a lot of people, it seems like anybody could just make a studio now in their house, right?
You can make a studio in your back. Man, you can wake up in the morning to make a beat and
you have one
mumble on it, and it'll be a hit, though. That's the thing.
That's crazy.
It'll be a hit. You'll mumble on a record, it'll be a hit. Yeah.
Put that motherfucker on TikTok, and you got that's crazy.
Big time.
That's crazy. You know what I'm
because
saying?
we have such short attention spans,
right,
man. So we just want quick stuff that will make us giggle or whatever.
Right.
So it ain't really getting too deep.
I feel you.
So we just like quick
just
stuff.
for play kind of.
Yeah, just play. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you still have thoughts on doing the whole music producer type thing?
I do. I dibble and dabble with it. You
got like the stuff like MPC or anything?
Oh, yeah, I got all that stuff.
You got all that shit?
I have an R&B group, man. We did R&B albums, a group called Mink Slide, on Billboard. We did a couple of albums as hobbies on Billboard. Google Mink Slide.
What the hell?
Yeah, man. We did some old, and it's old school funk R&B.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard, man.
So I dibble with it as a hobby, man, just because I like it.
Right.
And I like that vibe. I like that energy.
Hell yeah.
And, when I do these films, they're so heavy, I need something to balance me out.
Right.
Because doing these films, it's like doing a year-long algebra test. It's like you're doing you're getting all this research, all these documents. You're calling museums, and you're dealing with so many scholarly works. So after I do that, I have to balance my mind and my energy out and just do music or something.
Let me. Are you ever looking for people to be in your movie, film, like act or be an extra or
Always,
play a role or anything like that,
man? We just did our the film that we did now. We had a lot of people acting in it because we did reenactments.
Right.
Because we're talking about real historic figures. So
Okay.
we had actual characters and you had to act. So we're always hiring people.
Man, we're going to have to chop it up, man.
No doubt.
You know, because I think I want to touch that next, man. I want to tap into that, man.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what type of role. I don't know if it would be a serious role or something, comedy.
So you're trying to get in the game?
I'm trying. I mean, you know,
long as you don't take no coon roles. I don't want to see. I don't want to see Jinx and driving Miss Daisy too. You know. Where you going, Miss Daisy?
Hell no.
You hot back there? Did I need to turn some air on Miss Daisy?
Hell no. I can't do no shit like that, man. But we'll chop it up though. We'll you know what I'm saying?
Don't be in the Jeffrey Dahmer Part 2 story.
Hell no. They can't pay me enough to do no shit like that, nigga. I can't do that. You got hell no.
Because Hollywood got brothers doing. You feel what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
You feel me?
Right. We got talking code.
Yeah.
I know.
You better understand what's out there now.
I know. Hey, that part. Yeah. That shit opens up portals to shit. Hello.
Yes, it does.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now let everybody know where they can find you. Your YouTube, your Instagram, everything. Where can they find you?
My YouTube is Tariq Radio. You follow me on YouTube, Tariq Radio. Follow me on Instagram at Tariq Elite. Go to officialfba.com to get my book, Foundational Black American Race Baiter. That's the name of my book. Follow me on Instagram at Tariq Nasheed.
You heard it from the man, goddammit. This has been another great classic episode of Drinks with Jinx, the podcast where we chill, conversate, drink. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, hit that little notification bell on top. Hit that little motherfucker, like the clitoris, right? Just hit that little motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And make sure you get all the notifications. Every time, Jinx uploads something, you'll have first dibs to it. You know what I'm saying? Until then, I'll see y'all next time. We out.